Pastoral care is really just another avenue to help our patients heal. So it's one of what we call modalities of treatment. And so just like there's nursing and physical therapy, there's pastoral care. So it's a way to care for the spiritual healing of our patients.
Yes, I do know what pastoral care is, and it's a huge part of what we do for our patients, since they help us with also, in addition to the medicinal part of it, the spiritual healing of patients is also important. So it's a huge part of what we do here.
You know, often the way patients arrive to us after having been in acute care as a result of their significant illness, and then they're coming here for further recuperation, often feel as though their faith has really been tested, and being able to have the pastoral care staff as a sounding board for this has been really helpful, I think, for them.
We deal with a population on pediatrics of children with complex medical problems, and these problems are long-standing. So families are in a chronic stress situation, families of the children that we take care of, and pastoral care has been vital to those families and supporting them through some very, very difficult times. Fortunately, it's not frequently, but occasionally we have children who become critically ill, and there's a question as to whether or not they're going to survive whatever is happening to them. And at those times, in particular, pastoral care is extremely important.
We assess every person who's admitted to the hospital. It's really an interview, finding out who they are, where they've come from, where they might be spiritually, what they might like spiritually. Some have no needs, and they've already indicated that. But others indicate that they would love to have perhaps their minister call, or perhaps receive communion while they're here, or just have drop-by visits for a smile and a word of encouragement. So we try to do a whole range of things for people. Might be a book they need, or a Bible, or some literature. All of those things are maybe just a comfort blanket. We call them sometimes prayer stoles, or volunteers knit for us, but they're chilly, and so they get a soft touch that holds them while they're here.
The benefit of spiritual care at Hospital for Special Care is that our patients are going through a lot, and their medical care is primary, but I believe we are mind, body, spirit, and soul. So the spiritual care is also important. And sometimes staff does some of that, are not chaplains, the nurses, the doctors, but really some of the deep issues that people have, like why did this happen to me? Where is God in this? All those different things are really questions that people who have a lot of training in this area can facilitate.
The time I spend with Tom, as much as I love this place, we kind of escape to another place, like church, or like just somewhere like that, where we're talking more about after here. What am I going to do after here? It isn't like lying in woe here and thinking about poor me. He gives me advice about how am I going to change when I get out of here? How am I going to do the right things? And he gives me good guidance that way as well.
My name is Tracy Brooks. I came down with Guillain-Barré in April of 2015, totally unexpectedly. Ended up in intensive care in Hartford Hospital for 2 weeks with a life-threatening condition. And when I arrived here at the Hospital for Special Care, I had no use of my legs, and I had very, very limited use of my upper body and my arms. I was in excruciating pain. I was away from my 2 children for an extended period of time. So The spiritual side of it and having the support of the hospital was a way for me to deal with the pain on a lot of days and deal with the emotional part of what I was going through. And it allowed me to really gain hope when, you know, the days were really, really hard. This experience for me, I do bring it back to my children a lot. You know, I remind them all the time that how critical the pastoral care and Tom's time and the prayer was for me here. And I'm hoping that I'm also using this situation to deepen my children's faith as well, because I think it's a great example of the power of prayer, really.
2 years ago, I lost my son. He was 15, and he was pretty much as passionate about this place as I was, or am. He'd come in here since he was a baby, and he knew the doctors here. He knew the people I worked with, all the way up to the CEO. So not only is it the fact that he passed away, these people were my family after he passed away. I can't even explain, and I'm still trying to write a letter as to how remarkable the support system was here during my greatest time of need. Janet is unbelievable. She stood by me at the hospital. As soon as she heard, she came there, asked me if I needed any support. I'm Catholic. She really just comes there and wants me to believe whatever I wanted to believe at that point was going on in my life. She sat by me and held my hand. And when I returned back to work after this catastrophic loss, she was probably my biggest support in the hospital. And for me here at Hospital for Special Care, without pastoral care during this time in my life, I don't think I'd be as well put together right now to do my job as well as just live my life.
A hospital is a place of sanctuary for all kinds of people. Nobody chooses to be here. They've all come through some journey that was unforeseen. Sometimes it's sudden, sometimes it creeps up on them. But they're here, and we need to find a way to try to relate to each and every person. They may be Christian, they may be Muslim, they may be Buddhist, they may be nothing, they may be, but they're here and they're hurting. And to kind of look for that universal thread where we can find a way of giving them hope, encouraging them. I have been a pastor in a church setting. What makes this different from that is that kind of universality we seek in meeting people where they are, rather than telling them, you know, the spiritual answers, to help them find the spiritual answers that are already within them. And that's the huge challenge of each and every day.